Pisces, someone is spiraling right now, and that someone is the person who thought they had complete control over you. I am talking full-on panic mode, sleepless nights, obsessive checking to see what you are doing, who you are talking to, how you are moving. And the reason they are losing their mind is because you just did something they never expected. You changed the entire game on them, and they are sitting there feeling absolutely humiliated. Because everything they thought they knew about you, everything they thought they could predict, every single manipulation tactic they had prepared, it all just became useless. Let me tell you what happened to a Pisces client of mine 2 weeks ago, because this is exactly your energy right now. She walked away from a situation where someone had been controlling her for months, just completely walked away without explanation, without drama, without giving them the closure they thought they deserved. And that person? They have been unraveling ever since. Calling mutual friends, creating fake accounts to check on her, driving past her house, absolutely spiraling. Because when you pull your energy away from someone who was feeding off it, when you change the rules of a game they thought they were winning, they lose their minds. Everyone thinks power moves look like big confrontations and dramatic speeches, but actually, the most powerful thing you can do is just change. Just become someone they cannot read anymore, someone they cannot manipulate anymore, someone who operates on a completely different frequency than they expected. And Pisces, that is exactly what you did. The very first card that came flying out of this deck, and I mean it practically jumped into my hands, is Judgment. Now hold on, because this is not the card most people expect when we talk about someone feeling humiliated and you changing the game. Most readers would pull something like the Tower or Eight of Swords reversed, or maybe Five of Swords. But Judgment? This is showing me something way deeper, way more profound than just a simple power shift. This is showing me a complete rebirth of who you are, and that rebirth is what has them absolutely shook. Judgment is the card of awakening, of resurrection, of becoming a completely new version of yourself. And here is what is driving this person absolutely insane. They knew the old you. They studied the old you. They figured out exactly how to push your buttons, exactly what to say to make you doubt yourself, exactly how to keep you small and manageable and predictable. They had a whole system built around the version of you that existed before. But you woke up, Pisces. You had your judgment moment. You saw yourself clearly, you saw the situation clearly, you saw them clearly, and you made a decision to step into a completely different version of yourself. And now they are dealing with someone they do not recognize, someone they cannot control, someone who will not respond to their old tricks. That is why they feel humiliated, because all their carefully crafted manipulation strategies are bouncing off you like you are made of Teflon. I am seeing this so clearly in the energy. This person, whoever they are in your life, they built their entire sense of power around being able to predict you, control you, manage you. They thought they had you figured out. They thought they knew exactly how you would react to everything they did. They probably even told other people that they had you in the palm of their hand, that they could make you do whatever they wanted, that you were easy to manipulate because you are so empathetic and trusting. And then you changed. Not gradually, not slowly over time, giving them a chance to adjust their tactics. You just switched. One day you were the person they knew, and the next day you were someone completely different. Someone with boundaries they had never seen before. Someone with clarity they did not know you possessed. Someone with a spine of steel when they were used to you bending. The Judgment card is showing me that this transformation was not just surface level. This was not you pretending to be confident or putting on a brave face. This was a fundamental shift in your consciousness, in your understanding of yourself, in your willingness to tolerate disrespect. You literally became a new person, and the old person they used to manipulate, that person does not exist anymore. They are dealing with the aftermath, the resurrection, the phoenix that rose from the ashes of who you used to be. And let me tell you what is happening in their mind right now, because the cards are showing me their energy very clearly. They are in complete denial at first. They keep thinking this is temporary, this is just a phase. You will come back to being the person they could control. They are probably telling themselves stories like, oh, Pisces is just having a bad day, or Pisces is just trying to prove a point, but they will come around, or Pisces does not really mean this. But as time goes on, as you continue to hold your new energy, as you continue to operate from this judgment card awakened state, reality is starting to sink in for them. And that reality is brutal. They are realizing that they lost something they can never get back. They are realizing that the version of you that tolerated their nonsense is gone. They are realizing that no amount of love bombing or manipulation or guilt tripping or fake apologies is going to work because you are literally not the same person anymore. That is where the humiliation comes in, Pisces. They feel humiliated because they have been going around thinking they were so smart, so clever, so good at reading people and pulling strings, and you just proved that they were wrong. You proved that they never actually knew you at all. You proved that their supposed power over you was always an illusion that only worked because you allowed it to work. And now that you have withdrawn your consent, now that you have stepped into your judgment card energy, their entire house of cards has collapsed. I need you to understand something crucial about this judgment card energy. This is not about revenge. This is not about making them suffer or proving a point or showing them who is boss. This is about you. This is about you answering a higher calling, stepping into your authentic power, aligning with your true self. The fact that it is driving them crazy is just a side effect. The fact that they feel humiliated is just a consequence of their own miscalculation. You did not do this to them. You did this for you. But here is what makes this even more powerful. The Judgment card is showing me that you are not going back. There is no backsliding here. There is no moment of weakness where you fall into old patterns. This transformation is permanent. You have crossed a threshold that cannot be uncrossed. You have seen truth that cannot be unseen. You have tasted freedom that you will never give up. And somewhere deep down, they know that. They know this is not temporary. They know they lost you for good. And that knowledge is eating them alive. Now, I am seeing something else with this judgment card that is absolutely fascinating. This person is about to have their own judgment moment, but theirs is going to be way more painful than yours. They are going to have to face the truth about who they are, what they have been doing, how they have been treating people. And that truth is going to be devastating for them because their entire self-image is built on a lie. They have been telling themselves that they are smart, strategic, powerful, in control. But what they actually are is manipulative, insecure, desperate for power because they feel powerless inside. And your transformation is holding up a mirror that they do not want to look into. Every time they see you thriving without them, every time they see you strong and clear and unbothered, it reminds them of their own emptiness. It reminds them that all their manipulation tactics were just compensation for their lack of real substance. That is why they are obsessed with you right now, Pisces. That is why they cannot stop thinking about you, cannot stop checking on you, cannot stop trying to figure out what happened. Because you are reflecting back to them everything they do not want to see about themselves. You are living proof that their power was always fake, always borrowed, always dependent on finding someone who would play along with their games. But you are not playing anymore. You changed the game. Actually, you did not just change the game, you left the game entirely. You are playing a completely different game now, one they do not even have the capacity to understand, let alone participate in. And that is the ultimate power move. Let me tell you about the timeline here, because this is already happening. The humiliation they are feeling, that is current. That is now. You have already done the thing that flipped the script. You have already made the move that changed everything. What we are going to unpack in this reading is not what you need to do. It is understanding what you have already done and how to maintain this new energy as everything continues to unfold. Because here is the thing, Pisces. This person is going to try to get back in. They are going to try every trick in their book. They are going to cycle through all their usual tactics. probably in a very predictable order. First comes the denial, then comes the anger, then comes the bargaining, then comes the manipulation disguised as vulnerability, then comes the love bombing, then comes the threats, then comes the fake moving on to make you jealous. It is like clockwork with people like this. But the difference now is that you can see it. The judgment card has given you eyes to see. You can see the patterns. You can see the manipulation. You can see right through their act. And that changes everything, because you cannot be manipulated by something you can clearly see coming. The second card, and this one is wild because it is not what I expected, but it makes perfect sense, is the Three of Pentacles reversed. Now you might be thinking, Three of Pentacles, that is about collaboration and teamwork and building things together. What does that have to do with someone feeling humiliated? Everything. Because this card reversed is showing me that this person thought they were in a partnership with you, thought they were building something with you, thought you were a team. But really they were using you. They were taking credit for your work, benefiting from your energy, standing on your shoulders while pretending to stand beside you. The Three of Pentacles reversed is revealing the imbalance that was always there, but that you could not see clearly until your judgment moment. This person was not your equal. This was not a collaboration. This was not a mutually beneficial relationship. This was them extracting value from you while giving you just enough crumbs to keep you participating. And here is where the humiliation gets even deeper for them. Because part of how they maintained their facade of being so great, so successful, so put together, was by having you around. You were making them look good. Your energy, your kindness, your talents, your work, your support, it was all propping them up. And they knew it. Deep down they knew they were not as great as they appeared, that a lot of their shine was actually your light reflecting off them. But they thought you did not know. They thought you were too naive or too trusting or too focused on other things to realize what was happening. They thought they could keep using you indefinitely because you would never wake up to the imbalance. The Three of Pentacles reversed is showing me that they built their whole strategy around your continued unconsciousness. And then you woke up. And not only did you wake up, you walked away. You took your energy, your light, your talents, your support, and you removed it completely from their equation. And now they are standing there exposed, revealed, watching their whole house of cards tumble down because you were the foundation they were building on and you just vanished. I am seeing this person scrambling right now, absolutely scrambling to fill the void you left. They are probably reaching out to other people, trying to find someone else who will give them what you used to give them. They are probably working overtime to maintain appearances, to pretend that nothing has changed, to act like your absence does not matter. But it does matter. It matters so much, and everyone can see it even if they are not saying it out loud. The Three of Pentacles reversed is also showing me something about their reputation. Because here is what happens when the foundation walks away. The structure becomes visible for what it always was: shaky. People start asking questions. People start noticing things they did not notice before. People start saying, hey, wait a minute, was this person actually as talented / capable / together as we thought? Or were they just really good at taking credit for other people's work? Your departure is causing a ripple effect that they did not anticipate. They thought if you left, it would just be you leaving. They did not realize that you leaving would cause other people to reassess, to question, to see them differently. They did not realize that you were not just part of their structure, you were the keystone holding the whole thing together. And now that keystone is gone, and everything is crumbling, and they are running around trying to hold it all together with duct tape and desperation, and that is humiliating. That is ego death. That is having to face the fact that you were never as important or powerful or capable as you told yourself you were. I need you to really understand the power of what you did here, Pisces. You did not fight them. You did not argue. You did not try to expose them or prove anything to anyone. You just withdrew your energy. You just stopped participating in a dynamic that was not serving you. You just quietly removed yourself from a structure that was using you as a foundation. And that simple act, that quiet withdrawal, it has caused more damage to their ego than any confrontation ever could. Because when you fight someone, you are still engaging. You are still giving them your energy, still letting them live rent-free in your head, still allowing them to matter. But when you just leave, when you just become unavailable, when you just move on like they were never that important to begin with, that is the ultimate dismissal. That is the ultimate power move. That is you saying without words that they simply do not matter enough to fight over. And for someone whose whole identity is built on being important, being powerful, being someone who matters, that dismissal is devastating. The Three of Pentacles reversed is showing me that they are spiraling specifically because you are not spiraling. They are losing sleep because you are sleeping peacefully. They are obsessing because you are not obsessing. The imbalance is now in your favor, and they can feel it. Now, here is something really important that the Three of Pentacles reversed is showing me about their tactics moving forward. This person is going to try to discredit you. They are going to try to rewrite history to tell people that actually you were the problem. Actually, you were the one who was not pulling your weight. Actually, you were the one who was difficult to work with. They are going to try to flip the script and paint themselves as the victim of your dysfunction. Watch for this, Pisces. Watch for the smear campaign. Watch for the subtle comments to mutual friends. Watch for the social media posts that are clearly about you even though they do not mention your name. Watch for them trying to poison the well, trying to get people on their side before you can tell your version of events. But here is the beautiful thing. It is not going to work the way they hope it will. Because the Three of Pentacles reversed is showing me that people are smarter than this person thinks. People have eyes. People have been watching this dynamic play out, and most of them already know the truth even if they have not said it out loud. So when this person starts their smear campaign, when they start trying to rewrite history, a lot of people are going to see right through it, and that is going to be another humiliation for them. Because not only did they lose you, not only is their structure crumbling without you, but now their attempts to save face are failing too. Now people are seeing through their lies. Now their reputation is taking hit after hit, and it is all because you had the audacity to simply leave and thrive without them. The Three of Pentacles reversed is also showing me that you are about to build something new, something real, something that is actually based on genuine collaboration and mutual respect instead of extraction and imbalance. You are about to find your real team, your real people, the ones who see your value and honor it instead of exploiting it. And when this person sees you thriving in your new collaborations, when they see you shining even brighter without them, that is going to be the final nail in the coffin of their ego. Because nothing says you were the problem like me thriving after you leave. Nothing proves someone was dead weight like watching them spiral while you soar. Nothing demonstrates who actually had the power like seeing who recovers and who does not. Now let me tell you what is happening energetically between you and this person right now, because this is fascinating. There is a cord, an energetic connection that they are desperately trying to maintain. They keep reaching out energetically, trying to pull on you, trying to get your attention, trying to get you to engage. And you know what you are doing? Nothing. You are just letting those attempts fall into the void. You are not cutting the cord dramatically. You are not fighting against their pulls. You are just neutral. You are just unavailable. You are just gone. And that neutrality, that unavailability, that is what is driving them absolutely insane. Because they can handle anger. They can handle hurt. They can handle you fighting back or trying to get revenge. What they cannot handle is indifference. What they cannot handle is you simply not caring anymore. What they cannot handle is you being so completely over it that you do not even think about them unless someone mentions them. That is where you are right now, Pisces, or where you are rapidly heading, and that is your ultimate power. Not caring. Not as a performance, not as a strategy, but genuinely, authentically not caring, because they simply do not matter to you anymore. They are irrelevant. They are background noise. They are a chapter you closed and moved past. The third card is showing me the future outcome of this situation. And Pisces, get ready because this is going to blow your mind. The card is Strength. Now, strength might seem obvious at first glance, like, oh, of course you are strong. Of course you have power. But this card is showing me something way more nuanced than that. Strength is not about force. Strength is not about domination. Strength is not about overpowering anyone. Strength is about gentleness that comes from true power. Strength is about being so secure in yourself that you do not need to prove anything to anyone. This is where you are headed, Pisces. You are moving into a version of yourself that is unshakable. Not because you are hard or closed off or defensive, but because you are so deeply rooted in your truth that external chaos simply cannot touch you. You are going to be like a mountain. Storms can rage around you, people can throw their tantrums and manipulations and desperate attempts to regain control, and you are just going to stand there, solid, calm, unmoved. And let me tell you, that is going to drive this person even more insane. Because right now they are probably hoping that you are going to crack, that you are going to lose your composure, that you are going to do something messy or desperate or reactive that they can use against you. They are waiting for you to slip up, to give them ammunition, to prove that you are not actually as strong as you are currently appearing. But the Strength card is promising me that is not going to happen. You are not going to break. You are not going to engage in their drama. You are not going to give them the satisfaction of seeing you rattled. You are going to maintain your composure with such grace that it becomes undeniable to everyone watching that you are the one with real power here. The Strength card is also showing me something beautiful about how you are going to handle their inevitable attempts to provoke you, because they are going to try. They are going to test your boundaries. They are going to say things designed to get a reaction. They are going to create situations meant to force you into engagement. And you know what you are going to do? You are going to respond with such calm, such clarity, such refusal to be baited, that it is going to make them look unhinged by comparison. That is the genius of the Strength card energy. You do not have to fight. You do not have to defend. You do not have to explain or justify or prove anything. You just hold your space with such quiet confidence that anyone with eyes can see who is actually in control here. And spoiler alert, Pisces, it is not the person having the meltdown. It is the person remaining calm in the center of the storm. I am seeing a specific scenario playing out in the near future. This person is going to make some kind of move, some kind of attempt to either win you back or hurt you, or at minimum, get some kind of reaction from you. And everyone is going to be watching to see how you handle it, consciously or unconsciously. And you are going to surprise everyone, including possibly yourself, with how completely unbothered you are. You are going to respond with such grace, such maturity, such clear boundaries that people are going to be talking about it afterwards. They are going to be saying, did you see how Pisces handled that? Did you see how calm they were? Did you see how they did not take the bait? And that is going to do more for your reputation than any defense or explanation ever could. The Strength card is also showing me that you are going to become a source of inspiration for others. Because when people see you handling the situation with such grace, when they see you thriving despite someone's best efforts to bring you down, when they see you maintaining your peace in the face of chaos, they are going to be inspired. They are going to start asking themselves if they need to make changes in their own lives. They are going to start questioning whether they are tolerating dynamics they should be walking away from. You are about to become a catalyst for other people's transformations, Pisces, just by living your truth and maintaining your strength. And that is legacy level power right there. That is influencing the collective just by being who you are. That is changing lives without even trying. Now, I need to talk about what strength energy actually feels like to embody, because I want you to be prepared for this shift. Strength energy feels like peace. It feels like not having anything to prove. It feels like being so secure in who you are that other people's opinions just slide right off. It feels like freedom from the need for external validation. You are going to notice that things that used to bother you just do not anymore. You are going to notice that you are not checking to see if this person is watching your stories or talking about you or reacting to your moves. You are going to notice that you can hear their name without your stomach dropping or your heart racing. You are going to notice that you are genuinely, authentically fine. And that fineness, that okayness, that is going to be your superpower. Because people who are not okay cannot fake being okay for long. It shows. It leaks out in little ways. But when you are genuinely good, when you are genuinely at peace, people can feel that. It radiates from you. It changes how you move through the world. The Strength card is promising me that you are entering the most empowered era of your life. Not empowered in a loud, aggressive, proving yourself way. Empowered in a quiet, certain, knowing way. You are going to know your worth. You are going to know your boundaries. You are going to know what you will and will not tolerate. And you are going to enforce those boundaries with such consistency that people will learn very quickly not to test you. And the person who thought they had you in the palm of their hand, they are going to watch this transformation from the outside. They are going to see you becoming everything they tried to prevent you from becoming. They are going to see you shining brighter than you ever did when you were with them. And that is going to be the ultimate confirmation that you made the right choice, that leaving was the best decision you could have made. Now the fourth card is coming through, and this one is showing me what this person is actually feeling behind the humiliation, behind the panic, behind the desperate attempts to regain control. This card is the Five of Cups. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. The Five of Cups is the card of loss, of regret, of focusing on what is gone instead of what remains. And this is exactly where this person's head is at right now. They are mourning you, Pisces. They are sitting in the wreckage of what they destroyed, staring at the empty space where you used to be, and they are finally understanding what they lost. But here is the thing about the Five of Cups. It is not just about loss. It is about stubbornly focusing on loss, even when there are still cups standing, still opportunities available, still a path forward. This person is so fixated on what they had with you, so obsessed with what they lost when you left, that they cannot see anything else. They cannot move forward. They cannot heal. They cannot grow. They are stuck in their grief and regret. And you know what? That is a choice they are making. The Five of Cups always shows two cups still standing behind the figure in the card. There are always other options, other paths, other opportunities, but this person is choosing to stare at the spilled cups, choosing to wallow in what they lost, choosing to blame you for their pain instead of taking responsibility for the actions that drove you away. I am seeing them replaying every conversation, every moment, every interaction you had. They are torturing themselves, trying to figure out where it went wrong, what they could have done differently, how they can fix it. But here is the brutal truth that the Five of Cups is revealing. They know what went wrong. They know exactly what they did. They are just not willing to admit it, not even to themselves. Because admitting it would mean admitting that they were the villain in this story. It would mean admitting that you did not betray them or abandon them or hurt them. It would mean admitting that you simply stopped allowing yourself to be mistreated. And that is very different from attacking them. But their ego cannot handle that truth. So instead, they are painting themselves as the victim, as the one who was wronged, as the one who lost something precious through no fault of their own. The Five of Cups is showing me that this person is going to reach out. They are going to send you some kind of message, probably disguised as casual or friendly or just checking in. And buried in that message, either explicitly or implicitly, is going to be an attempt to make you feel guilty for their pain. They are going to try to make you responsible for how they are feeling. Try to get you to take ownership of their emotions and come back to make them feel better. Do not fall for it, Pisces. That is manipulation, wearing the mask of vulnerability. That is them trying to use your empathy against you again. Because they know you have a good heart. They know you do not like seeing people suffer. They know you tend to take responsibility for other people's emotions, even when those emotions are not your responsibility. But you are in your strength energy now, remember? You can have compassion for their pain without taking ownership of it. You can acknowledge that they are hurting without believing that you are the one who needs to fix it. You can hold space for the fact that loss is painful, while also holding space for the fact that they brought this loss on themselves through their own actions. The Five of Cups is also showing me something about the cycle they are going to go through. First comes denial, then comes anger, then comes bargaining, then comes depression, then comes acceptance. But here is the kicker. Most people do not go through these stages in a linear way. They spiral. They go back and forth. They get stuck in certain stages for long periods of time. This person is currently somewhere between anger and bargaining. They are angry at you for leaving, for changing, for not being the person they could control anymore. But they are also bargaining, trying to figure out what they can say or do to get you back, what they can promise or offer that will make you give them another chance. But acceptance? That is a long way off for them. Because acceptance means letting go. Acceptance means moving on. Acceptance means acknowledging that what they had with you is over and never coming back. And their ego is not ready for that. Their ego might never be ready for that. So they are going to stay stuck in this Five of Cups energy for a while, maybe a long while. They are going to keep reaching out, keep trying, keep hoping that you will change your mind. And every time you do not respond the way they want, every time you maintain your boundaries, every time you refuse to engage with their manipulation, they are going to spill another cup. They are going to add another layer to their grief and loss and regret. And eventually, if they do not do the work to heal and grow and take responsibility, that is going to curdle into bitterness. The Five of Cups can turn into resentment if the person refuses to move through it. They can become that person who talks about you for years, who never gets over what happened, who uses you as their excuse for why their life is not where they want it to be. But that is not your problem, Pisces. That is not your responsibility. You cannot force someone to heal. You cannot force someone to grow. You cannot force someone to take accountability. All you can do is protect your own energy, maintain your own boundaries, and keep moving forward on your own path. The Five of Cups is showing me that you might feel some sadness about this too. Not because you want them back, but because it is sad to see someone self-destruct. It is sad to watch someone choose bitterness over growth. It is sad to realize that someone you once cared about is so stuck in their patterns that they cannot evolve past them. That sadness is valid, Pisces. You can feel it. You can honor it. But do not let it pull you back into their drama. Do not let it convince you that you need to save them or help them or give them one more chance. They have had plenty of chances. They chose not to take them. That is on them. Now the fifth card is coming through strong, and this one is showing me your energy moving forward, the specific way you are going to continue to change the game and maintain your power. This card is the Page of Swords reversed. Interesting, very interesting. The Page of Swords reversed is about being strategic with your communication, about not showing all your cards, about staying private and protected while you are in transition. And Pisces, this is exactly the energy you need to maintain right now. Because here is what this person is doing. They are watching you. They are gathering information. They are trying to figure out your patterns, your routines, your new life without them. They are probably checking your social media obsessively, asking mutual friends about you, looking for any scrap of information that helps them feel like they still have some kind of access to you. The Page of Swords reversed is telling you to go dark. Not completely, not in a way that is obvious or dramatic, but strategically. Share less, reveal less. Keep your cards close to your chest. Let them wonder, let them guess. Let them fill in the blanks with their imagination, because I promise you their imagination is going to torture them way more than the truth ever could. This is about information control, Pisces. This is about recognizing that knowledge is power, and right now you have something they desperately want, which is information about you, about your life, about how you are doing, about whether you are thinking about them. And you get to choose what information they have access to. You get to choose what you reveal and what you keep private. The Page of Swords reversed is also warning you about a specific trap. This person might try to use other people to get information about you. They might pump mutual friends for details. They might create drama that forces you to respond publicly. They might even try to bait you into defending yourself or explaining yourself or proving something. Do not take the bait. Every time you respond, every time you engage, every time you try to set the record straight, you are giving them information. You are showing them what matters to you, what gets under your skin, where your weak spots are. And they will use that information against you. The Page of Swords reversed is teaching you the power of silence. Not the cold shoulder, not passive aggression, but strategic, intentional silence. When you do not respond to provocations, when you do not engage with drama, when you do not try to defend or explain or justify, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. Because think about it, Pisces, what drives people crazy is not knowing. What causes obsession is mystery. What creates insecurity is uncertainty. And right now, by maintaining your privacy, by keeping your life to yourself, by not giving this person the constant updates and access they used to have, you are creating all of those things for them. They do not know how you are doing. They do not know if you are thinking about them. They do not know if you are sad or angry or relieved or already moved on. They do not know if you talk about them or if you have completely forgotten they exist. And that not knowing is driving them insane. The Page of Swords reversed is also showing me that you are learning. You are observing. You are taking notes on how people behave when they think you are not paying attention. You are seeing who runs back to tell this person about your life. You are noticing who asks questions that feel more like reconnaissance than genuine care. You are identifying the flying monkeys, the gossipers, the people who cannot be trusted with your truth. And that information is valuable, Pisces. Because you are not just protecting yourself from this one person. You are also identifying everyone else in your life who needs to be moved from the inner circle to the outer circle, or removed entirely. The Page of Swords reversed is helping you build a much more secure, much more trustworthy, much more authentic social structure. Now here is where I need to give you some very specific guidance about how to maintain this Page of Swords reversed energy without it feeling exhausting or inauthentic. Because I do not want you to become paranoid or overly guarded or closed off. That is not healthy either. The key is discernment. You can still be warm, still be friendly, still be social. You just get to be selective about who gets the real you, who gets the deep stuff, who gets access to your vulnerabilities and your struggles and your private life. Most people get the surface level. Most people get the pleasant, polite public version. Only the truly trusted get the depths. And right now, in this transition period, while this person is still obsessing over you and trying to maintain control, your circle of truly trusted needs to be small. Maybe 3 people, maybe 5, maybe even just you for a little while. And that is okay. That is actually healthy. That is you protecting your energy while you rebuild. The Page of Swords reversed is also showing me that you are going to become very good at reading between the lines, at seeing people's real intentions behind their words, at noticing manipulation tactics that you used to miss. You are sharpening your sword, so to speak. You are developing discernment that is going to serve you for the rest of your life. Because once you learn to see manipulation clearly, once you learn to recognize the patterns and tactics that toxic people use, you can never be fooled the same way again. You might still encounter manipulative people, but you will spot them way faster. You will protect yourself way sooner. You will not waste months or years of your life on people who do not deserve your energy. That is the gift hidden in the Page of Swords reversed. Yes, it is about protection right now. Yes, it is about strategy in this current situation. But it is also about developing a skill set that transforms how you move through the world. You are becoming someone who cannot be easily deceived, cannot be easily manipulated, cannot be easily taken advantage of, and that is priceless. Now the 6th card, the final card in your reading, is showing me the ultimate outcome of this entire situation. And Pisces, This card is going to make you smile because it is so perfect. The card is the world. The world. Do you understand what this means? This means completion. This means victory. This means you are not just surviving the situation, you are transcending it. You are not just getting through it, you are using it as a launch pad to an entirely new level of existence. The World card is the last card in the major arcana. It represents the end of a cycle, the completion of a journey, the achievement of something significant. And in your case, Pisces, it represents the end of a long cycle of allowing yourself to be underestimated, undervalued, and controlled. That cycle is done. You are closing that chapter with such finality that it will never be reopened. But the world is not just about endings. It is about integration. It is about taking everything you learned through the difficult journey and synthesizing it into wisdom. It is about standing on top of the mountain you just climbed and seeing the full landscape of your life with new eyes. It is about understanding that every challenge, every betrayal, every painful moment was actually preparing you for this version of yourself that you are becoming. The World card is showing me that in the near future, you are going to have a moment of profound realization. You are going to look at your life and suddenly see how far you have come, how much you have grown, how completely you have transformed. And in that moment, you are going to feel grateful for everything that happened, including the painful parts, because you will understand that it was all necessary to get you here. This person who thought they had you in the palm of their hand, they were actually your teacher. Not intentionally, obviously. They were trying to control you, trying to use you, trying to keep you small. But what they actually did was show you your own strength. What they actually did was force you to choose yourself. What they actually did was catalyst your transformation into the most empowered version of yourself. The World card is also showing me that you are about to step into a completely new reality. Not just a new relationship or a new job or a new friend group, though those things might be part of it. I am talking about a fundamental shift in how you experience life itself. You are moving from a reality where you were constantly trying to prove your worth, constantly giving your power away, constantly allowing others to define your value, into a reality where you know your worth, you hold your power, and you define yourself. That is massive, Pisces. That is life-altering. That is the kind of transformation that people spend years in therapy trying to achieve, and you are doing it through lived experience, through making hard choices, through walking away from what no longer serves you. The World card is showing me success on every level. Personal success, where you feel at peace with who you are. Emotional success, where you have healed the wounds that made you vulnerable to manipulation in the first place. Social success, where you are surrounded by people who genuinely love and respect you. And yes, even material success, because when you step into your power this fully, opportunities start flowing to you in ways you could not have predicted. I am seeing you looking back on this time, maybe 6 to 8 passages from now, and just laughing at how dramatic it all seemed. How much energy you spent worrying about this person's reaction, how concerned you were about their feelings. Because from the vantage point of the world, from the perspective of someone who has completed this journey and stepped into their power, this person becomes so small, so insignificant, so obviously not worth the energy you once gave them. The World card is also showing me freedom. Real, genuine, embodied freedom. Freedom to be yourself without apology. Freedom to set boundaries without guilt. Freedom to walk away from anything that does not align with your highest good. Freedom to choose yourself every single time without questioning whether you are being selfish or unfair or too harsh. That freedom is what they could never give you. That freedom is what you had to claim for yourself. That freedom is what you are claiming right now, with every boundary you set, every manipulation you refuse to engage with, every time you choose your peace over their chaos. And here is the most beautiful part of the World card. It is showing me that you are not going to be bitter or resentful or angry about what happened. You are going to be neutral. You are going to be able to talk about this experience without emotional charge. You are going to be able to acknowledge that yes, that happened. Yes, it was difficult. And yes, I am better for having gone through it. No drama, no victimhood, no need to vilify or vindicate. Just facts, just truth, just the story of your transformation. That neutrality, that peace, that is what real healing looks like. That is what true completion looks like. That is the world energy in its fullest expression. Now let me talk about what happens when this person sees you in your world energy, because they will see it eventually. Maybe from a distance, maybe through social media, maybe through mutual friends, but they will get glimpses of who you have become. And it is going to destroy them, because they are going to see exactly what they lost, exactly what they threw away, exactly what they could have had if they had just treated you with the respect and care you deserved. They are going to see you glowing. They are going to see you thriving. They are going to see you surrounded by people who genuinely love you. They are going to see you accomplishing things, experiencing joy, living your best life. And it is going to hit them like a truck that you did not just survive without them, you flourished without them. The World card is showing me that you are going to become proof that leaving was the right choice. You are going to become a walking, talking, breathing example of what happens when someone chooses themselves, sets boundaries, and refuses to tolerate mistreatment. And that is going to be your greatest revenge, though you will not even see it as revenge because you will not be thinking about them enough to care. You are just going to be living fully and authentically and joyfully. And that living, that thriving, that is going to speak louder than any words ever could. The World card is also showing me celebration. There is going to come a moment, maybe soon, maybe a bit further down the line, where you are going to want to celebrate this transformation. Maybe you throw yourself a party, maybe you take yourself on a trip, maybe you just buy yourself something special and toast to your own courage. Whatever form it takes, you are going to mark this completion, this victory, this new beginning. And you should celebrate, Pisces. You should acknowledge how far you have come. You should give yourself credit for doing something that most people are too scared to do. You should recognize that choosing yourself, setting boundaries, walking away from manipulation, that takes guts. That takes strength. That takes a level of self-love that not everyone has. Now I want to talk about the energy between the cards, because that is where some of the most important insights live. We have Judgment, your awakening and rebirth. We have Three of Pentacles reversed, the exposure of the imbalance and their crumbling structure. We have Strength, your unshakable composure and grace under pressure. We have Five of Cups, their grief and regret and refusal to move forward. We have Page of Swords reversed, your strategic privacy and growing discernment. And we have the World, your ultimate completion and victory. Do you see the story these cards are telling? Do you see the journey? You woke up, you saw the truth, you walked away. They panicked, they crumbled, they mourned. You remained strong, you stayed private, you kept evolving. And the end result is you standing in your power, in your completion, in your wholeness, while they are still stuck in their grief and humiliation. That is not coincidence, Pisces. That is the natural consequence of two different choices. You chose growth, you chose truth. You chose yourself. They chose denial. They chose manipulation. They chose ego. And those different choices led to very different outcomes. The cards are showing me that you do not need to do anything else at this point. You do not need to confront them again. You do not need to explain yourself further. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You have already done the work. You have already made the choice. You have already changed the game. Now you just need to maintain your energy, stay in your power, and let the natural consequences of everyone's choices play out. Because here's the thing about truth. It always wins eventually. It might take time. It might not happen on your preferred timeline, but truth always comes to light. And the truth of this situation is that you were being used. You woke up to it, you left, and you are thriving. That truth is already becoming apparent to everyone who is paying attention, and it is going to become more apparent as time goes on. Your job is not to convince anyone. Your job is not to defend yourself. Your job is not to make sure everyone knows your side of the story. Your job is simply to live your truth so fully and authentically that it becomes undeniable to anyone with eyes to see. Now let me address something that might be coming up for you as you absorb all of this information. You might be feeling some guilt. You might be thinking about how this person is hurting and wondering if you are being too harsh, if you should give them another chance, if you should at least talk to them and help them understand what went wrong. Stop right there, Pisces. That is your old programming talking. That is the version of you that took responsibility for other people's emotions, that prioritized everyone else's comfort over your own well-being, that gave and gave and gave until there was nothing left. That version of you is exactly what got you into this situation in the first place. Your Judgment card awakening was about releasing that programming. Your Strength card energy is about having compassion without taking responsibility for their healing journey. Your World card completion is about recognizing that everyone is responsible for their own growth, their own choices, their own consequences. This person made choices that drove you away. Those were their choices, the consequences of those choices, including the humiliation they are feeling, the loss they are experiencing, the pain they are in. Those are their consequences to deal with. You are not their mother. You are not their therapist. You are not their savior. You are simply someone who decided they deserved better and acted accordingly. If they want to heal, if they want to grow, if they want to learn from this experience, they can do that. But they have to do it themselves. You cannot do it for them, and attempting to do it for them would only pull you back into the dynamic you just freed yourself from. The cards are very clear that your path forward is about you, your healing, your growth, your evolution, your world, not managing their feelings about you choosing yourself. Let me also address the possibility that this person might change, might grow, might actually learn from this experience and become better. It is possible. People can change. People can grow. People can have their own Judgment card moments and transform into better versions of themselves. But even if that happens, even if this person does the work and becomes someone completely different, that does not mean you need to go back. That does not mean you owe them another chance. That does not mean your World card completion includes them. You can acknowledge their growth. You can be happy for them from a distance. You can even wish them well. But you are under no obligation to re-engage. Because here's what the World card is teaching you. Completion means completion. When a cycle is done, it is done. You do not reread a book you have finished. You do not replay a game you have won. You do not revisit a lesson you have already learned. You acknowledge it, you integrate the wisdom, and you move forward to the next adventure. This person was part of a cycle that is now complete. Whether they grow or not, whether they change or not, whether they learn or not, that is their journey. Your journey is about what comes next, about the new cycles you are beginning, about the new level of existence you are stepping into. The World card is showing me that new level very clearly. I am seeing you with new people, people who match your evolved energy, people who respect your boundaries, people who value what you bring to the table. I am seeing you pursuing new interests, discovering parts of yourself you did not know existed, exploring paths you never considered before. I am seeing you experiencing new levels of joy, peace, satisfaction, fulfillment. Everything is new, Pisces. That is what the world promises. When you complete a major cycle, when you do the work, when you transform this significantly, you do not just return to your old life with slightly different circumstances. You step into an entirely new reality that was not even accessible to you before because you were not vibrating at the right frequency. But now you are. Now you have done the work. Now you have chosen yourself. Now you have maintained your boundaries. Now you have integrated the lessons. And now you get to experience what life feels like when you are operating from your highest self, your most authentic self, your most empowered self. And let me tell you, Pisces, it is going to be incredible. It is going to be beyond anything you can currently imagine, because you are still viewing the future through the lens of your past experiences. You are still basing your expectations on what you have known so far. But the World card is promising something completely different. Something you have never experienced before. Something that can only happen when you are vibrating at this new frequency. So stay the course. Maintain your strength. Keep your Page of Swords reversed privacy and discernment. Trust your judgment awakening. Watch as the Three of Pentacles reversed consequences play out for those who underestimated you. Observe their Five of Cups grief without taking ownership of it. And walk confidently toward your world completion, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do. This person thought they had you in the palm of their hand. They thought they could control you, predict you, manage you indefinitely. And then you changed the entire game on them. You became someone they do not recognize. You activated power they did not know you had. You set boundaries they did not think you were capable of setting. You walked away when they were certain you would stay. And now they are spiraling. Now they are humiliated. Now they are realizing what they lost. Now they are facing the consequences of their own actions. And you are free. You are powerful. You are complete. You are stepping into your world. That is not just a win, Pisces. That is a transformation. That is a rebirth. That is you claiming your birthright as a powerful, sovereign, unstoppable being who knows their worth and refuses to settle for anything less than they deserve. And honestly, they should be grateful you are as kind and private as you are. Because if you wanted to, you could expose everything. You could tell everyone exactly what happened, exactly how you were treated, exactly what kind of person they really are behind the mask. But you are not doing that. You are not waging a smear campaign. You are not trying to destroy their reputation. You are simply living your life and letting them deal with their own consequences. That is the ultimate power move. That is strength energy in its highest form. That is you being so secure in your truth that you do not need anyone else to validate it. You do not need everyone to take your side. You do not need public vindication. You just need your own peace, your own clarity, your own freedom. And you have it. You have all of it. And every day that passes, you have more of it. Because every day you maintain your boundaries, every day you refuse to engage with manipulation, every day you choose yourself, you are solidifying this transformation. You are making it permanent. You are ensuring that you can never go back to being the person who tolerated that treatment. The cards are showing me one final thing that I need to share with you before we close this reading. There is going to come a day, probably not too far from now, when you wake up and realize you have not thought about this person in days, maybe even weeks. You are going to realize that they have become so insignificant in your mental and emotional landscape that they do not even register anymore. And in that moment, you are going to know that you have truly completed this cycle. You are going to know that you are in your world energy. You are going to know that the transformation is complete. And it is going to feel like the final click of a lock turning, the final piece of a puzzle falling into place, the final note of a symphony resolving into harmony. That moment is coming, Pisces. Hold on to that. When things feel hard, when you are tempted to break your boundaries, when you wonder if you made the right choice, remember that moment of completion is waiting for you. Remember that indifference, that peace, that freedom is your destination. And you are almost there. So keep walking. Keep choosing yourself. Keep maintaining your power. Keep trusting your journey. Because you are not just surviving this situation, you are mastering it. You are not just getting through this challenge, you are using it as a springboard to your next level. You are not just ending a cycle, you are beginning a world of new possibilities. And the person who thought they had you in the palm of their hand, they are going to spend a long time regretting that they ever underestimated you. They are going to spend a long time wondering how they lost the best thing they ever had. They are going to spend a long time feeling humiliated that someone they thought they controlled became someone they cannot even reach. But that is not your concern anymore. That is not your problem. That is not your energy to manage. That is theirs. Your only concern is your world, your completion, your victory, your new beginning. And Pisces, it is going to be glorious.